Good afternoon everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Just out for a little Sunday afternoon ride, just testing out some of my gear ready for my trip in June. Well, it'll be the 31st of June I actually go over, but it'll be July that I actually start my trip once I hit Portsmouth. So just out and about at the moment, just testing some of my gear. I've got full luggage on the bike at the moment, so I'm giving that a little test out. It's 14 degrees at the moment. That's not too bad. I've removed all the linings and everything from my jacket. I currently have the RST Adventure jacket, so it's a 3-in-1. So you have your insulated that zips into the waterproof, and the waterproof zips into the jacket. But at the moment I've taken them all out and I'm just riding around, as you can see, with the majority of the air vents open on the jacket because it's quite warm. So yep, so just having a nice little ride. The roads are dry, we've not had any rain in a few days, so enjoy it whilst we have it. I've got no idea where I am at the moment. I'm just taking back roads, because all the normal roads I normally ride, you get bored doing that over here in Jersey. So a little change every now and again. Valley de Vaux, oh, I know that road, so we'll go up Valley de Vaux. Just turn the music down a little bit. Now the chickens are out on the road. So let's have a look at the mileage I've done so far. (1,717 miles), and that's from brand new. That's not too bad mileage for the fact that over here it's difficult to it is quite difficult to clock up the mileage. I mean, I use my bike every single day. I use it to go to and from work, but work's only literally about 5 minutes away from where I live, so sometimes I take a long way to work. Yeah, don't worry, just come over my side of the road. I got asked the other day by one of my friends, because they know what I'm like on bikes, so they're surprised that I've actually got a GS. They were like, bloody hell, when did you get so old? I was like, you cheeky twat, I'm only 38. And they went, well, why'd you go with the little GS? You know, they said, why don't you go for the 850 or the 1250? I said, well, what's the point? I said, if I want to go fast, you know, I've got my sports bikes, you know, and my sport bikes would do, you know, 180 mile an hour. So let this lady through. Lean over because I've got luggage on the bike. There we go. Yeah, you'll notice our roads are very small over here. So if you can ride in Jersey, you can ride anywhere in the world, I'll tell you that now. You know, the majority of the roads are basically like this, what I'm on now. So and they're two-way traffic. And some of these roads on the back here, you know, they're 40 miles an hour. There's no speed limit on some of these roads, which is nuts. Lindale Sports. Used to get my school clothing from there back in the day, and they're still going strong. These beautiful horses. Yeah, so they were like, Steve, what are you doing on a GS? Why is it only a 750? And I went, well, technically it's not a 750, it's an 850cc bike. It's just, you know, less horsepower than the 850, but they're exactly the same motors. I said the bike would do 118 mile an hour. I mean, I don't need to go much more than that when I go touring. You know, if I want to go away and watch the MotoGP, then I probably wouldn't take this. I'd want to take my sports bike, just for the fact, you know, World Superbike or MotoGP, I'd want to be on a sports bike. God, the roads are nice and quiet today. Well, it might just be the fact that I'm taking a load of back roads and not many people like using these roads. So I'll do a little review later on some of my equipment I got on the bike, which I bought, you know, after I originally bought the bike new. I've taken quite a bit off the bike and put some new stuff on the bike. I've also ordered a crash plate for the bike itself. Again, people are like, well, you're on cast wheels, why would you take your bike off-road? I said, just for the fact that some roads in the UK that I plan to do, such as like the Elan Valley, you know, it's not like 100% off-road. A lot of it's just dirt, but there's some stones in there that I don't want to get chucked up by the front wheel and smash the undercarriage of my bike. I don't want it going through the oil or the engine casing. You know, that would just defeat the object. But I will be taken in places like that when I go away. So, you know, having watched videos on YouTube, the adventure biker, he's quite good. Having watched videos like, he's on his 1250 GS though. So, but this has got endurance, it'll go off-road. Okay, I can't turn the ABS off fully, which, you know, it doesn't really bother me, it doesn't concern me. I'm not going to be doing like proper off-roading. But what I have planned for this bike is, once the warranty's out of date, because I'll start working the bike myself. I mean, okay, I've put the majority of the stuff on the bike myself anyway, which doesn't invalidate the warranty. But when the warranty is over, I'll start servicing the bike and doing all the upkeep myself, like I do on my my K1. So what I have planned in the future is to upgrade the suspension, which I'm going to do. I'm going to change the spoke wheels to I'm going to change the cast wheels to spoke wheels. Okay, it's going to cost a fair bit of money. And again, people have said, why didn't you just get the 850? And I was like, because the 850 and the 1250, they're too tall for me. And I don't want to change the geometry of the bike itself. I don't want to lower it. I don't want to get a low... Okay, the lowest seat I could have done, but I'd still be on my tiptoes. I'm only a small bloke. So I didn't really want to get one of those big bikes. Yes, I've seen like Dominica and username Kate. I've seen the girls handle the bikes fine. I mean, I can handle a big bike, it's not an issue. But I specifically bought this bike to just go travelling and touring, you know. I don't need a high-powered bike. It just don't need it. The speed limit's only 70 mile an hour across the pond or across the channel. So let's go around this oil. So yeah, it's one of those. Don't pull out on me, mate, just sit there, because you know I'm ready to overtake you. It's a nice day. Now it's dropped to 13 degrees. I mean, I can feel it. It's really fresh through the arms and stuff, but it's comfortable. I don't know if, you know, if anyone's out there and they haven't tried the RST gear. You know, it's a British brand. That's all I've pretty much worn since I left Heingerich, and I used to wear Heingerich a lot. I had my first jacket I ever had was a Dionysi leather jacket, which I got in a car boot sale for 25 quid. I had that when I used to ride my moped. But like the proper, when I first like got my proper bike, and then I went out and I was in Portsmouth at the time, in the military, and I'd just got my bike, so of course I needed the proper gear. Oh, why didn't that change? There we go, 6th gear. So this will comfortably, I mean, I'm not even sure what speed I'm doing at the moment. Alright, we're gonna go left up here, or do we go straight on? Oh, we're gonna go straight on. I head down to the north coast. Do not pull out on me. This is notorious here for cars pulling out on motorcycles and knocking them off there. It wasn't that long ago that I saw a young lad on a KTM 125 Duke on the road. Car come out and just hit him. You know, it's just ridiculous. So crossroads, there's warnings on every exit, every junction, should I say. There's warnings of crossroads to slow down and to stop. And just somebody went straight across there and hit some poor lad. He broke his arm and broke his collarbone. The bike was a write-off as well. That's one thing over here. You've really got to pay attention, because you got, you know, so many people are just unobserving when they're out driving. Right. Bonnery Bay. I'm not going to go down to the bay, because you can't really come up the other side of it. Once you go down there, you've basically got to turn around and come back on yourself. So I'm not going to go down there. We'll follow the north coast. I'll take a left up here and head towards St John's Village. Bonnery Bay. So we'll take a left here. This is still two-way road, so I've got to be careful. Yeah, so sorry, I lost my thought there. Going back to the RST gear. So this is the I mean, the majority of gear I'm wearing is RST, except for my gloves. My gloves are Riker. So I got these when I was away in the UK. So I got them for 95 quid. Not bad for a pair of Gore-Tex gloves. Watch out for the squirrels. Yeah, our little red squirrels. We don't have any grey squirrels over here. All our squirrels in Jersey are red. They're endangered, unfortunately. I think that's a bit of water on my visor there. Our famous Jersey cows. So the feeling on the bike at the moment, I have my luggage on. I got my the Vario hard cases, side panniers and the top box. Okay, they're not fully loaded. I am going to do a test later on in the year. Not later on in the year, should I say, in the next few weeks before I get ready to go over to the UK. I had my tent up. I had the Vango Mirage Pro 200. I had that up the other day. I put that up in the living room. It's a freestanding tent. I'm really looking forward to using this away. It's classed as a 3-season tent, but in the UK you could say it's a 4-season because the weather never gets that bad in the UK, temperature wise, especially in June and July. So I'm really looking forward to using the tent away. I'm going to try and keep the pricing down as much as possible because I'm away for 12 days and I don't want to be spending a huge amount on accommodation. Thank you very much. I need to look at getting a new sleeping bag though. I might be able to get away with what I got. I wouldn't mind getting a down sleeping bag. At the moment I've got synthetics from Van Gogh as well. I've had those sleeping bags for a good 15 years now. So I've got a 200 and I've got a 300, which is basically the 2-season and a 3-season. But they don't compact as much as what a down sleeping bag would. Let's have a gander at the speed I'm doing. I've got no idea. Oh, sorry, no, wrong one. Let's come out of that. 34. See, what I like about this bike, oh look, there we go to 40 now. What I like about this bike is she's happy to sit in 6th gear. You know, 6th gear she's happy to sit at, doing 40 mile an hour. Fuel economy is brilliant for this bike. It really is. You'll notice I've done all those miles so far and it's still not dropped from 90 miles in the tank. That might be because of the temperature at the moment. It's at that optimum temperature for fuel, I think, when it's around 13 degrees or so. You'll notice that you've actually got more of it's more smooth. It just feels better. Whereas if it's really hot, mileage consumption's crap. I don't know why. Well, I have an idea why. So this bike does come with a quick shifter, but you know, I don't use it in road. I don't see the point. If I have it in dynamic when I go away, I'll definitely be using the quick shifter. I get good protection. I got bark busters on the bike. These are protecting my hands from the elements. I haven't even got the heated grips on at the moment. My hands are nice, comfortable and warm. As you can see, I changed the bracket on my bike. So I've got the 850 GSA bracket, which is adjustable. I've put a slightly larger screen on there, but it's ideal for summer weather and for winter weather. All I've got to do is pop it up, and I can adjust the little wind deflector on top as well, just to add a bit more deflection. But as I travel at 30 mile an hour now, no wind whatsoever is hitting me. Nothing. It's so for that little thing there, it's brilliant. Alright, he's going to pull out on me. You can see that coming a mile away. Couldn't wait, could you? Alright, let's stay within the speed limit here, because honorary coppers can be very funny. As long as let's be cheeky. There we go. That's better. We'll just we'll set the speed limit so I'm not breaking it. So this way it keeps me out of trouble. Got it on camera. I say, Your Honour, take it up with BMW if I'm going too fast. I had my clock set. Do not pull out on me, you stupid woman. So you see that when you come off the throttle, you pull the brake, or when you go back on the throttle, it automatically takes the oh, they're going slow. It automatically takes off the oh, my head's up my arse at the moment. Oh, it takes off the cruise control. Now it's my right away. I was a bit cheeky back at the other one, but it was a hired car. and they were going like really slow. Oh, in we go. Another car, don't pull out. I'm coming round the corner, and it comes. There we go, we're going to go back to 40 now. Ridiculous, you see that? I mean, this road here is a 40-mile-an-hour road. You wouldn't do 40 mile an hour. Well, you would if it was totally clear and it was night time and you could see that there's no lights and stuff oncoming. But I wouldn't do 40 mile an hour on this road. Not in the daytime anyway, because it's just not big enough and the car's going to come round on your end. Reduce speed now. There we go, back to 2 roads. So this is bringing me down Greve de Lec. I could have gone up there and brought us down. That'd have been a nice view. That's somebody's garden there. As you can see, they have a lot of money to own something like that over here. I like this end of the island. This is out west. We've got all the little goats, all the babies. It's now spring. It is spring. What's he doing? So we've got lambing going on at the moment, and you got the baby goats, the kits. They're all being born at the moment as well. See, my in-laws own they own a farm. They've got land like this, but I think I'm going to get the bash plate on this bike before. Oh, look at that, I've gone up to 92 miles now. So since leaving home, which is probably about 10, 15, or between 10 and 15 miles ago, I've actually gone up in miles on the tank. And that's just, you know, you ride the bike properly and correctly without revving the shit out of it. It's better for the mileage. Okay, it's not as fun, but again, as I said, I'm not riding a sports bike. You know, when I had my street bike, I would have lost my license without a doubt. I'd already been pulled over once for speeding, and I managed to get away with that. I was doing a 45 mile an hour in a 30. You'll see the video in my YouTube thing. Okay, I was being a bit of a dick towards a copper, but that copper didn't have a clue. There was circumstances for why I did speed, and he didn't give 2 tosses. And over here, you know, it's banged on about defensive riding, and when you're travelling at 30 mile an hour and you're sticking to the speed limit and you've got some twat in front of you who's intentionally braking on you and trying to cause you to crash, well, I'm sorry, I'm not going to sit behind somebody that's doing that. I'm going to overtake them, which I did, but then I got collared for doing a 45 and a 30 for like 3 seconds on the throttle. The minute I overtook the guy, I dropped back down to 30, but I got pulled in, and he was like, oh, you broke the speed limit. I went, well, yes and no. I was defensive riding, but he wasn't listening to a word I was saying. And then, of course, cheeky twat tried taking my keys out the ignition. You know, he checked the documentation on the bike, and he was like, our records say that this is not your bike, and he tried taking the keys out of my ignition. And I was like, nah, don't think so, mate. You know, you're not touching my bike, you've got no cause to. You know, I gave him all the correct information, but he didn't believe me, and he tried taking the keys out of the ignition. So of course I backed up, started the engine, and I rode off. You know, he went around to my house, I wasn't there. My wife refused to give my information where I was, and I then put in a thing for the speed gun, because I know my rights over here. You know, my sister's a lawyer, my brother-in-law's a lawyer, so I know my rights very well over here. I know what the laws are. So when you get a transfer from the UK, which is a policeman that transfers to Jersey, you know, there's a lot of old laws over here in Jersey which they're totally unaware of, and they're trying to tell you what's law when you know damn well that it's not. So anyway, I said I wanted the certification for that day for the speed gun to have proven that it had been calibrated for the use on that road that day, which I knew it hadn't, because I know what they're like. They just get a speed gun out, they just take it out and they start collaring people. I know this for a fact because I've got a mate that works at the police station. So I requested the calibration certificate for that day for the use. They couldn't provide one. I had video footage of the vehicle in front of me that was intentionally braking on me, and luckily I knew the centennial of St Clement's. So I went there, I showed her the video, I spoke to her and I said, look, I don't normally speed, well I very rarely speed. Okay, when I'm away in the UK or in France, yeah, I speed. But that's only because our J-Reg doesn't, it's not recognised in the UK or in France, so they can't come after you for a speeding ticket. So I'm quite happy to speed when I'm away. But in Jersey, I do try and stick to the speed limits because I really don't want to get collared over here for it. Because, like, you know, I was nearly double the speed limit over. 15 mile an hour over, normally it goes to the magistrate's court. But the centennial of St Clement's, she could see what I did. She was a rider herself. She knew the terminology of defensive riding, which I did. And they just put no further action, which was brilliant for me. I know the copper that pulled me, the state's policeman that pulled me over, I know he wasn't happy when he found out. He was going around the cop shop going, oh, I'm going to have him, I'm going to get him. I was like, yeah, good luck with that, mate. So we're going to head down to Greve de Lec somewhere, park up, and I'll give a little rundown on the bike itself. We'll go through the bike. I was going to do a proper review after 1500 miles, which I didn't get to do. We're now coming up to 1800. So, but I'll do a small review for how I'm liking it. And I've got to say, I do like this bike. It ticks the box. It's beautiful to ride, it's comfortable, it's torquey. You know, the torque's all around 6,000 revs. The top horsepower, it's only 77. I know the 850's got about 11 or 12 brake horsepower more to this bike, which you can get just by sticking this bike on a dyno. I know somebody in the UK that's done it. They've stuck the bike on the dyno, they've had it tuned, and the engine's now kicking out what an 850 kicks out. That's without actually changing anything on the bike itself. You know, he's still got the same exhaust, the same headers, he's not changed anything in the cam. So I know it can be gotten if I want more power, but realistically I don't really need it, but I want it, so I'll get it in the future. See, now it's getting quite nippy out this end of the island. I can feel that coming straight through the jacket, but it's keeping me cool. I'm not overheating. I've just got a t-shirt on under this today. I did have the other two liners in, but with the liners in, straight away I picked the jacket up and I could just tell straight away that I was going to be too hot. So I put my North Face, my Primaloft, my little Summit Series Primaloft jacket in my pannier, which is what I'll take away with me because it's just an extra layer, and they say that the Primaloft is the equivalent of about 400 down. So, but it's synthetic, but it is very warm I mean, I used it in New York when they had that snowstorm several years ago. It was like -10. All I had under that was a t-shirt, and it is really thin, but it kept me warm. So I always take that away with me now as just an extra layer. And I'll have a couple of micro fleeces as well. This is where we're going to stop, just here. One of my favourite places on the island. See, this is a kind of this is what they're going to have in the Elan Valley, I believe, from what I've seen. This type of surface with those kind of stones. So if I'm travelling, I don't want to be kicking those up on the bike. Let's go up here.